the final seconds.
Game 2 is Tuesday night at 7:30. Is the series over if we head to New York down 0-2?
I'm not going to say that it's over, because in a best-of-7 series, I think you have to go down 0-3 before you can really say it's most likely over. Especially with a team like the Cavaliers that has been coming from behind all year long. As I said, I think I should cut it out of one of our episodes, but I was very worried that the Cavaliers would fall on their face, and the way that they have in the start of all games this year, in the first halves of all games, and they would fall on their face in the first half of the series that they play. And it is my worry that they'll lose game 2 and then have to scrap their way back and make it a best-of-7 series and be so tired for the Bucks series it won't even really be worth it. So I don't think it's over, but I think that it makes the rest of the playoffs pretty daunting and hard to imagine anything positive happening if we don't get this turned around by game 2. And I think even that, we have to go in to game 3 and smack them in the mouth and take that game, because it's just the kind of statement that you need to make when a team comes into your house and instantly snatches from you the home court advantage you said that you coveted so much. So I don't think that it's over, but I think that the death knells will be coming if they drop 2 in a row. It won't look good coming into game 3. We'll have to sweep them at home in 3 and 4 and come back to win in 5 and 6 possibly. So how do you feel about it?
I think it depends on how they lose game 2. I think if they lose game 2 kind of in this similar fashion where everybody looks a little bit lost except for Mitchell, I think that that's pretty telling that the series has some major problems. And I agree that once you're down 3-0, usually the series is done. In all of these first round series, you're seeing right now that Golden State just lost their first game. They could go down 0-2. The Bucks just lost their first game against the Heat. They could go down 0-2. A lot of these series, it happens where you have to claw your way back and you win in 6 or 7. And the NBA is becoming a much closer, the talent level is all getting much better. So a lot of these teams, the games are going to be closer. The series are really going to go, they're going to be nail biters. But I do think it's more of how they lose game 2 than the fact that if they lose it. Because if it's a similar mentality of not changing your ways, not of understanding who you are, and not dictating and putting Cavs basketball first and foremost and dictating how this game goes, that will be a bigger issue for me. Even if they go down, if they lost by 15 on Tuesday, but they still dictated 1 or 2 quarters, I would still be like, oh, okay. If something happens where they just get some bad foul trouble or something and they're just not able to fight their way through it, then I would be less concerned. But if they lose again like this, where it's nobody really has the wherewithal to focus and understand the moment, then I'll be more concerned, because this is a really young Cavs team. We've always talked about it, but they need to mature real quick to make sure that they stay in this series and understand everything that needs to be done to get their first playoff victory.
Garland, I think, has a tall order to go out there and shoot more than one shot in the fourth quarter and actually get more than one assist in game 2. That would be really helpful. But I just have to ask you a quick question, though. If we come out and we play similar in game 2, don't you envision a blowout? Because I feel like the Knicks played poorly. So if the Knicks play well and we go out and play the same way, I think we'll lose by 15, 20 points.
I think that the Knicks could definitely blow us out for sure, but I also think the Knicks are just a weird team where it's kind of like what you mentioned. They kind of get in their own way sometimes, so I could see where they would still have enough empty possessions. I mean, this is why they traded for Josh Hart. Thibodeau knew, hey, these Yabos get in their way all the time, I need to get one of the best offensive rebounding shooting guards / small forwards in the NBA so that we have a second chance, because these yabos get in their ways all the times. If Jared Allen and the small forward Okoro usually, or LeVert, and Ivan Mobley don't start tracking where that ball is going to land when the shot is going off, they need to figure that out quickly, because that is real pretty. In the NBA, there are whole documentaries about like what Dennis Rodman did, how other guys like that rebounded, and what they do is they track the trajectory of the ball, and they should know how Donovan Mitchell's shot or how Darius Garland's shot is gonna hit the rim by now. You've been playing with them for 80 some games. Figure out where it's gonna go and track it down, please.
Well, and, you know, I do have to give them a little bit of credit, though, because Allen had 14 boards and Mobley had 11. But it still just felt like when they needed to pull one down, they could not get one to save their life.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team just did not have that as a priority.
Yeah, they didn't help.
You know, and something else that we didn't mention, you know, Mobley was 4 for 13. I mean, if he had shot his normal percentage, we would have had a much better outcome. So, again, I think that if we correct just a little bit, we can easily win game 2. But if we come out playing the same way and the Knicks actually have a good game, I think it could be embarrassing.
They were also 70% from the free throw line, so that's the other thing. If they hit 5 more free throws, the game is tied. You know, it goes to OT possibly.
Yeah, Garland and Mitchell both missed some big ones. It was gut-wrenching.
Thank you for listening to the Cavaliers Basketball Club podcast. Let's go Cavs!